Cold Island. Intro. In the hauntingly atmospheric world of Cold Island, Peter Colt crafts a gripping tale that plunges readers into a chilling mystery set against the isolated backdrop of Nantucket Island. When the skeletal remains of a young boy are unearthed after 35 years, Massachusetts State Police Detective Tommy Kelly is thrust into a case that challenges his every belief. Partnered with the island's own Detective Joe Harris, Tommy navigates a maze of secrets, lies, and a community determined to keep its dark past buried. As the investigation unfolds, the island's cold exterior mirrors the chilling truths that lie beneath, making Cold Island a must-listen for fans of psychological thrillers and intricate mysteries. Unearthed secrets. The tranquility of Nantucket Island is shattered when construction workers discover the remains of a young boy buried beneath a decades-old foundation. The boy, identified as Nick Steuben, had been missing for over 35 years, a case that had long since gone cold. Detective Tommy Kelly, recently assigned to the case, arrives on the island to find a community that is both tight-knit and suspicious of outsiders. As he begins his investigation, Tommy is confronted with the unsettling reality that no one remembers a child named Nick, and no missing persons report was ever filed. A reluctant partnership. Tommy is paired with Detective Joe Harris, a seasoned investigator from the Nantucket Police Department. Joe is initially resistant to working with an off-islander, harboring distrust for mainlanders who she believes don't understand the island's way of life. Despite their differences, the two detectives begin to collaborate, sifting through old records and interviewing locals. Their efforts reveal a pattern of disappearances from the early 1980s, all of which were dismissed or forgotten over time. The silent community. As Tommy and Joe delve deeper into the island's history, they encounter a community that is deliberately uncooperative. Residents are either unaware of the past disappearances or unwilling to discuss them. The detectives' inquiries are met with cold shoulders and veiled threats. It's clear that Nantucket's idyllic image is a facade, concealing a history of secrets and unresolved tragedies. Echoes of the past. Through painstaking research, Tommy uncovers a series of disappearances from 1981, the same year Nick Steuben vanished. These cases were never linked, and the victims were presumed to have run away or met with misfortune. However, as the detectives connect the dots, they begin to suspect that a serial killer may have been operating on the island during that time, targeting vulnerable children and evading detection. The serial killer theory. The possibility of a serial killer raises the stakes of the investigation. Tommy and Joe re-examine old case files, looking for patterns and overlooked evidence. They discover that the disappearances coincide with specific events and locations, suggesting that the killer was familiar with the island's rhythms and routines. The detectives also learn of a local man who was known for his erratic behavior and had been a suspect in several of the disappearances, but was never charged. Unraveling the web. As the investigation progresses, Tommy and Joe face mounting pressure from their superiors and the community. The island's residents grow increasingly hostile, and the detectives receive anonymous warnings to cease their inquiries. Despite the obstacles, they persist, uncovering a web of lies, cover-ups, and long-buried truths. They begin to suspect that the killer may still be on the island, living among them. Personal stakes. Tommy's personal life begins to unravel as the case consumes him. His marriage is strained, and he becomes increasingly obsessed with finding the truth. Joe, too, grapples with her own demons, including a past that she has tried to forget. Their shared experiences and mutual respect deepen their partnership, and they begin to rely on each other not just professionally, but emotionally as well. The breakthrough. A breakthrough comes when the detectives discover a photograph from a local event in 1981 that includes several of the missing children. Among them is Nick Steuben, confirming that he had been in the area at the time of his disappearance. The photograph also reveals a man who had been a peripheral figure in the earlier investigations, but had never been thoroughly questioned. This man becomes their prime suspect. Confronting the past. Tommy and Joe confront the man, who initially denies any involvement but eventually breaks down and confesses. He reveals that he had been responsible for the disappearances, targeting children who were neglected or overlooked by society. His motives were rooted in a twisted sense of justice and a desire for control. The detectives are left grappling with the horror of his actions and the realization that the island's darkest secrets have been hidden in plain sight. The aftermath with the case resolved. Tommy and Joe reflect on the toll it has taken on them. And the community. Nantucket begins to come to terms with its past, acknowledging the tragedies that had been ignored for so long. Tommy returns to the mainland, his perspective on life and justice forever changed. Joe remains on the island, continuing her work, but with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to uncovering the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Conclusion. Cold Island is a masterfully crafted mystery that explores themes of memory, denial, and the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most picturesque communities. Peter Colt's compelling narrative and richly drawn characters create a story that is both haunting and thought-provoking. For readers seeking a tale that delves into the complexities of human nature and the secrets we keep, Cold Island offers a chilling and unforgettable journey.